All right, now, oh my goodness, we're about to up level your Zoom meetings experience. So remember, you're wearing two hats, okay, or two wigs. No, not that I'm wearing a wig,
Oh,
but two different hats, right? Right? Your one hat is as a student, the other hat is as a teacher. Somebody said that, I thought it was hot, because your goal is to take your participants on a journey. So what's the first one we're going to go to? Ways to encourage the best meetings experience. You're going to be shocked with how simple this is. Make it comfortable. Did you notice when you first came in, I asked you to show your face? If someone doesn't show their face, like right now, I see someone that does not have their face. So I'm going to click ask to start a video. As the host, you can put your mouse over the top of their picture frame where there are three dots. Who knows about the three dots? Put those hands up. You know about the three dots. And then you can ask to start video. Guys, put in chat room, why do we care about the video? Why do we care that the video is here? Why can't you just join by phone? Who cares? Talk to me. What are they saying, Robert?
Engagement, connection, the eye, says Tom Davidson. Love it. So Lisa says, so you can see my cheese head. Love it. Love it. Lisa from Wisconsin, of course, right? So there we go. All right. Good. Excellent.
So guys, do that. And even better, if you know you're going to have a big meeting, send out instructions in advance.
Yeah.
Get people camera ready. I don't know if some of you guys saw my video. Get people camera ready. You do not want a woman that's going to say, listen now, I was not ready for y'all. All right, here's another piece. There's a challenge at times with configuring the audio video. So let's just cover that in 2 seconds. Number one, start video. I love the Logitech webcam, but it's like, they can use the computer webcam. Right now, Logitechs are pretty much sold out, or they're charging ridiculous prices. So we do not want that to stop us. Also, someone can join via their mobile device, where we all have a camera on our mobile device, okay? So if they're wondering, I don't know how to do it, chances are that X is crossed out, so they can't get to it.
What if I have a flip phone, Marquessa? No, don't answer that.
I don't know what to say to you. You need to come into 2020. Okay, seriously. All right, here's the other one, guys. You see over there where it says the microphone. I hear this all the time. Oh, I'm talking, but no one can hear me. You got to take that red mark off your microphone. I do recommend Blue Yeti mic, but there's a lot of mics out there. So you want to make sure that folks understand the mic part. So that's cool. So a lot of you guys got that. Here is something that I think we miss at times. Guys, anyone else joined their Zoom meetings twice? Did you notice how I joined my Zoom meeting twice? Anyone know? And I get this question all the time. I have my iPad over here for lots of reasons. When if my computer crashes, I'm backed up. Did anyone notice that? I'm always backed up, right?
Yeah.
So how do I join? I join like myself, right? But what I do is I join by audio and not computer. You know why? You join by computer from your desktop, but from your extra device, you're gonna join by audio. Why? One word, feedback. Have you ever heard that feedback?
Yep.
You don't want the feedback. And you may say, well, so do I need to call in on the phone? No, I can already hear you through the computer. So just click yes, as if you're gonna call in. That list will pop up, ignore it. Back yourself up, stuff happens. You got me? So make sure you do that, all right? So we're good there, we're good, we're rocking and rolling, Robert?
Yep, we're rocking and rolling.
We're trying to stay on time. So communications, part one is where is everything at? Okay, and also the how. So we're gonna try to kill two birds with one stone. Do you see this? Guys, we all have a participants panel. Robert, this is gonna be fun.
Yep.
So, all right, Robert, let's take them to participants panel. Guys, click on participants on your computer right now. Click on participants. Looks like Jennifer has a question. She's got her hand raised. What's that question, Jennifer? Jennifer, unmute your phone.
She can't do it.
She can't do it?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to unmute Jennifer now. So here, how about that? You can speak, Jennifer. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
That was probably a mistake on my end when I was opening stuff up. So you don't need to answer any of my questions so far. I'm following along.
Perfect.
All right, let's mute. Okay, good.
Is Jennifer a troublemaker? Just like pressing stuff? Just pressing buttons everywhere.
All right. So guys, do us a favor. You're in your participants part, okay? So here's a test question. I'm moving too slow. I'm going really slow where you're getting tired. You're thinking, can you go a little faster? Maybe my information needs to be up leveled a little bit without you hurting my feelings. Is there something you can push on here to get me to move it a little bit faster?
Lisa and Lorna and Linda Katz-Wilner. Hey, Linda, how you doing? They're telling you, speed it up. Speed it up, Marquessa. You're
so
too slow.
Really, guys, there's a lot of meanings around it. It could mean, are you with me? Do I need to go back again? Do I need to cover that point? So what that means is ask your audience, check in with them to see, are you with me? Am I making sense? Do I need to explain something? Then somebody may say, go faster, which means you can move along. So you guys see that? So 10 people went go faster, one person went go slower, and then there was some other ones here. Oh,
3 people were clapping. Yeah, they were just clapping for you. They love you.
So here's another one, guys. What if you decide, now wait a minute. All right, you give me one. Oh, here it is. How many of you love being home? Forget COVID, but you just love being home. Is that a yes or a no? Do not rate. Oh, I should have.
Green check for yes, red X for no. Yeah.
Yes for yes, or an X for no. Yes for yes, X for no. I got to slow down. I'm so excited that I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay. Just answer Linda's question for a second. Linda's asking, how do you undo the speed up sign?
How do you undo?
You just click it again, Linda. You can just click it again and you can undo it. Any of these participant panel options, raising your hand, yes or no. If you click it again, it'll undo what you did.
That's right. Very good. All right. Good. So how many of you have gained weight? Yes or no? Don't raise your hand. You gain weight. Yes. Wow, the numbers are going down. I'm so jealous. Oh my
wow.
God. I need to talk to you. Oh my goodness.
So really quickly, we got a couple of people here. I think, and this is part of what we want to make sure that people understand. If you don't see your participants panel, you've got to go down to your toolbar at the bottom of your Zoom window and open up your participants panel in the first place. Okay, make sure you do that, and then open up your chat panel as well, just so that everybody's seeing that and they know where we are.
Very good. Very good. Guys, the participants panel can become your best friend. It's such my best friend that it's kind of taken over my screen for a second. Good. All right. So do you see how you can use this when you're doing meetings? Yeah. And what's so interesting is Zoom continues to add more things to it. So you're surprised. It's very interesting. How would you use the coffee piece? Let's see if anyone comes up with what to do with the coffee piece. How can you use that as a presenter? This is easy, guys. Put in the chat room. Robert tells me who got the answer right. There's no wrong answer, but there's
somebody said need to go to the bathroom. Love it. Take a break. Need a break, says Deepak. All right, break time, says Shannon.
There you go. Take a break.
So Rita says, need a coffee break? Question mark.
Also, if you're leading a group of folks, you may say, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to stay on my Zoom, or I'm going to stay on my Zoom. And as long as the coffee is here, you can still work or watch a little GH or whatever. When that coffee is gone, then join us back again. So there's different ways. Just have fun with it. Have fun with it. Awesome. Robert, did you want to add anything for this piece?
For the coffee? Nope.
Yes.
I'm good.
You got it? Okay, good. All right, so let's go to the next one here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I'm going to stop. Here we go. I'm going to stop sharing for a second to move this panel. This stuff gets caught up in your panel. All right, here we go. So this is what it looks like. So I wanted you to see what it looks like a little bit when you're sharing and what you see as the host. Do you see that? So I can see, oh, Marquessa's taking a break. Robert is clapping. I can see exactly what's going on over there. So I love this piece. And this is more of a big picture of us doing this. Here's another place, guys, where participants can talk to us.
Yeah.
Look in your control panel. Do you see your control panel there? Do you see the reactions? All right. Let's come up. Give me a good question, Robert, to answer for the reactions.
How many people like red velvet cake?
What a boring question.
What are you talking about?
That is
Come
boring.
On. I thought red velvet is pretty controversial. That's what I thought.
So. How many of us are getting a little bit of Zoom fatigue? You bet not put a thumb up for that one. A little bit of Zoom fatigue. So here you may say, well, wait a minute. When do we use reactions versus the participants panel? It really depends on you, but understand that the reactions will show up for, what is it, 10 seconds? They'll show up for 10 seconds and then they will disappear.
Wow.
The participants raising their hand, lowering their hand, going faster, saying yes, will stay there until they remove it. Yeah. So think about that. It really just depends on the purpose and what you're trying to do. Make sense, Robert?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Did you guys know you can share a file? You can share a file, right? So let me go up here a little bit. You see right here, let me put on my spotlight. Okay. You see right here at the bottom, do you ever have files you want to share? There is the file share. If you do not see file share on your Zoom meeting, it's because you didn't do the update. If you didn't do the update, you will not see it. Make sense? Guys, please do the Zoom update.
Or don't forget this part. Sometimes as host setting it up, you may choose not to allow participants to share.
That is true.
So I don't want anybody freaking out just because they didn't see it.
Gotcha.
As if you're not a host and you're a participant in the meeting and the host has not given you the option to share, that may be one reason you don't see it.
That is true. But I love it. I love to give files to my people during the meeting. It feels awesome. Here's something else where we go a little bit into what else can you do to up level your experience with your attendees. Guys, look over here. Do you see now this? One thing I love about being when you're in the host or co-host category, you can do a lot of things. All right. One of the things that if you notice, did you notice that everyone was muted? And we have people in the waiting room, guys. Okay. We got to keep an eye on that. Seema, if you see people in the waiting room, please bring them in. Okay. Very fantastic. All right. So guys, if you're looking over here, if you notice everyone is muted, try to take yourselves off mute real quick. Take yourselves off mute. What's going on? Put it in the chat room. What's going on? Can you take yourselves off mute? No. If you have a large group, it's important that you're able to control the mute button. Wouldn't you agree? Yes? So you may say, well, how do we do that? How can we make sure that, so you see up here where it says mute all, and you see where it says unmute all, there's a more button there. This more button will allow you to not let people unmute themselves. That is really important. Wouldn't you agree? If it's a lot of people, some people can't even find mute. Okay, did you just do that, Robert? Who wrote on my screen? I'm offended.
That was not me.
That was not you?
Can't take grown-ups anywhere, man. They're just playing with the crayons.
Good. Juanita said we cannot unmute. Debbie says no host has muted. So that's another piece. So guys, make sure you go into your Zoom meeting and play with it. You have more control than you realize. So that is really important. Robert, feel free to add to this if you want to as well. Yeah. If you want your participants to save chat, these 3 dots are so important. This is what I love about Zoom. I love the 3 dots and I love the more. The 3 dots and the more reveals a lot of gold, okay? So I wanted to make this a little bit bigger. What if I'm already in a Zoom meeting and my waiting room is not enabled? I'm able to enable, stop drawing on my screen, guys. I'm able to enable my waiting room if I want. I can allow participants to rename themselves. All sorts of things. I'm not gonna read all of these to you, but the point is I just want to show you what you can do to make the most of the meeting experience. So all I did was just sort of do a closer up because your goal is to keep the meeting solid and no one likes noise. All right. So was that good? Did you guys, how many of you did not know that all those buttons existed? Put in the chat room. If this is the first time and you're like, I didn't know that was there. Anybody? How many of you guys did not know all those buttons existed? Tom said, not that many. Catherine said, I had no idea. Debbie says, very helpful, didn't know. So that way you make it fun and different, guys. We're professionals. We do this for a living. So we want to use all of our controls if we can. We want to leverage as much as we can. Fantastic, good, because I didn't want it to be too simple. Does anyone use the waiting room? Do we have any doctors on the call? I love the wait. Who loves the waiting room? Okay, before I go to my next slide, how do you use the waiting room right now? How do you use it? How do you use the waiting room? Put it in the chat room. Daniel says he used it, but you didn't tell me how, Daniel. How do you use the waiting room? Robbie, I'd love to know how you use the waiting room. How do you use the waiting room?
Says for security.
For security? What? Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Linda says to make sure that registered people can attend.
There you
Diane
go.
says to keep people from coming in early.
Gotcha.
Sharon said, check this out. Sharon Weinstein says, I've always called it a reception room, so people do not know that they're waiting. Love it.
There you go. It. Okay, gotcha. Right.
Prior to starting a meeting, I want to know who's coming on, says Galen.
Really, and, Larry? Larry
says to keep out Zoom busters.
All right, so guys, let me show you some ideas for maximizing your waiting room. Yes, Jennifer, we're going to explain it. Absolutely. First of all, you can enable your waiting room in your Zoom settings. So go back to part 1 if you want to get a kind of a deep dive in Zoom settings, right? Now, while you're in the meeting, you can enable the waiting room. I just showed you that. You just click that more button and you can enable the waiting room. The reason why you want to use the waiting room is for lots of reasons. Number 1, you're not always ready to let everybody in the meeting at the exact same time. You want some time to prep. Does that make sense? We wanted to set the music up for you. We wanted to get our producer in place. We had a lot of things to do. Here's another thing, office hours. Does anyone ever do office hours where you're thinking, all right, guys, I'm going to have office hours from 7 until 3. I'm going to give you 15 minutes. You're in a waiting room, no appointments. You can do that when you have a lot of clients or maybe you have a membership group or something like that. I will host office hours and I will tell them no appointment. You just wait in the waiting room. As soon as it opens, I can bring you in. It's a good way to control the flow and make sure that your meetings aren't disturbed. Okay. Back-to-back meetings. Does anyone have back-to-back meetings here? Yes. Yes, absolutely. It stops the anxiety because do your meetings ever go over? You ever go over? Yes, my meetings go over often, sometimes. So it's a good way for me not to feel nervous. Here's a little thing. In your Zoom settings, I showed this to you guys already, you're able to customize your waiting room message. So my waiting room message says something like, so glad you're here, I see you. So glad you're here, I see you, and I will let you in as soon as possible. That's what my waiting room message says. And I've uploaded my logo. So you can do that as well. Okay. You can upload your, there you go. Something else. So make sure you customize it. Otherwise, if it's a person that's never been in a waiting room before, they're like, what's going on? I don't understand. I can't get in. So it helps you. So again, office hours, back-to-back meetings. I call it skip level meetings. I've done this before with an organization where, let's say it was 20 people and I wanted to meet with 3 of their senior managers. And then I said, all right, senior managers, you go back to the waiting room. Now let's meet with the people that report to you. All right, you go back to the waiting room. Now let me meet with the SVPs. Now you go back to the waiting room. So it's just a different way to use it. Also, it gives me less anxiety because I'm not worried about people thinking that I've forgotten about them. And as someone mentioned, it's a great security measure. Now, guys, you are professional speakers just like I am. How do you plan to use the waiting room? Put that in the chat room so that we can all read it. How do you plan to use the waiting room? Okay, there we go.
Somebody says, and this is just what you're talking about. When I get in a waiting room, it feels so impersonal. So I love the waiting room message. Yeah, so that's Tom's. So Tom is advocating for everybody to customize their waiting room. Good.
There you go. Excellent. Guys, I would go into the back end, but that's going to take us off. And our goal is to do a lot of things in this meeting. And I have an hour. So I'm remember, I have so much time. Just remember when you go into Zoom settings, remember the word settings, you page down and you will see waiting room, and there's a little pencil there where you can customize it. Is that fair? Are we good there? I would take you back there, but I'm gonna lose time and I'm trying to stay on time. Is that cool? All right, fantastic. Someone says, can you customize it with music? I'm sure they're working on that one. And I know you're like, Marquessa, what happens number 4? I have no idea. Okay, good. This is, in my opinion, the secret sauce of Zoom meetings. It's called breakout rooms. But today I want to take it a step further with breakout rooms. I think we get the idea, but I'm going to have you do something extra special in the breakout rooms today. Is that okay? So first, before I go through everything you need to do, I'm just going to give you the experience. And then when you come back, I'm going to answer some questions around it or give you some how-tos around it. Is that fair? Cool. All right, Seema. Seema is my producer. She's on my team. And Seema is, okay, right now, Rhett, did you give Seema control as host? You must give your producer or whoever you want to run your Zoom breakout rooms, you must give them control. If you're the co-host, you will not see the breakout rooms. What does it look like? Let me see. Here we go. You see this right here? That's what the breakout rooms look like. Okay? I cannot control the breakout rooms as co-host. I do not want to control the breakout rooms because right now I'm speaking and I'm leading and doing all my stuff. So if I'm in the breakout rooms, that's too much for me to focus on. I'm up here like, oh, did Tia get in? Did I get this person in? There's always some kind of issues. Now, here's a little trick, guys. Yes, go ahead, Robert.
You're the host. You need to transfer that over to Seema.
Oh, duh. I kind of knew that. All right. So if you're thinking, wait a minute, how do you find someone without it taking a long time? I'm going to go to the search bar and I'm going to type in Seema's name, S-E-E-M-A-H. Okay. Seema, why can't I find you? Are you under your name? Oh, I see. Marquessa. What now?
Go ahead.
I think this is Seema. Seema, are you in as me? You
nope,
can't.
She's in as producer.
Oh, duh. I told Seema to do that and I forgot that. Okay, good. So Seema, I'm going to make you host. I forget my kids' names all the time. All right. There we go, guys. While Seema is doing her thing, let me move this thing here. Okay. While Seema is doing her thing, guys, I want to share something with you when it comes to doing this piece of it. Have you ever, how many of you have done breakout rooms? Just show me really quickly with your digital hands. All right, and have you had challenges with everyone getting into the breakout rooms? There's a workaround, okay, with the breakout rooms. Now, I cannot see the breakout room thing, so I'm gonna show you a little screen here that's gonna be magical. So let me hit share screen so you can see. Okay, so someone, all right, okay. All right, do me a favor, Seema or Robert, make me co-host here. Right now, I've lost my co-host privileges.
You make me co-host on your second.
Yeah, because I'm in here twice. So you see Marquessa Patway 2, and you see Marquessa Patway 1. Make me co-host. Right now, as participants, you cannot share your screen. That is a beautiful thing. But if you lose co-hosting privileges, then you can't share it. Fantabulous. Thank you for that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, here we go. Guys, look at this. This here is magical. Okay, this little thing here. It says move all participants into breakout rooms. Make sure everything is checked. Okay, now you can't, you will see this as you control your breakout rooms. This is a box that a lot of us miss. We miss this section. I would miss it over and over again. And then what would happen is we would break out everyone, and then a few people would still be stuck for whatever reason in the main room. So check up all of these. Also decide if you really need 60 seconds. Oh, breakout rooms. Oh, I didn't mean 10 minutes. That would be horrible. You can also control how long a person can be in the breakout session if you want to. And then you can also set countdown timer, which is normally at 60 seconds. Okay. All right. So Seema, let me see how you're doing over there. See if you're ready. So before we put you into breakout rooms, I have something I want you to do. How many of you have ever used the whiteboard? How many of you have used the whiteboard before? No? Well, guess what? You're going to use it today. You're going to use it today. This is the whiteboard right here. Okay. Rhett, I'm going to need you or whoever the host is, and I think Rhett can do it or Robert can do it. We're going to have to open it up where participants can share their screen once they're in the breakout sessions. Otherwise, this is going to be impossible. Okay, so while they're working on that, let me show you something. So when you share your screen, there's basic and then there's advanced. You see that? In the basic, there's something called whiteboard there. Why do I care about that? Whiteboard is sort of like a Zoom, I don't know, virtual board where you can ask your participants to log whatever work you have them do in the breakout rooms. So I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you, based on the Zoom Deep Dives training, webinar, or even some things you learned on your own, what's one major thing you're going to do differently in order to transform your virtual meetings experience? And what I'd like is for you to put it on the whiteboard. Okay, so only one person can share their screen in the breakout, just one person. So when you guys get in there, decide who that person is, okay? Then that person will share their screen, bring up that whiteboard, and then each person will share their big virtual meetings experience, strategy, priority, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to bring you back and ask you to share your whiteboards. How do you guys like that? You like that? You think you can do it? Are you up for it? All right, Seema. Now, here's another thing that we're going to do. I don't know if you're aware of this, but we cannot record what happens in the breakout rooms. But there is a way to get your breakouts recorded. Does anyone know how to do that? There is a way to get your breakouts recorded. I'm checking chat room to see what folks say. It's a little different, but it's a different way to get your breakouts recorded. The host or co-host will need to pop into the breakout room in order to give someone in the room permission to record. And how do they do that? They're going to pop into that breakout room. They're going to look for those magical 3 dots that's right above your head. I'm going to click that and I'm going to allow you to record. And then I'm going to hop out and do something else. So that's how you do it. Traditionally, I normally do not record breakouts because I like them to be private. And I think people are a little bit more transparent if it's not being recorded. But if you need it recorded, I just wanted to give you an option. Okay. So what we're going to do is stop share for a second. Before we move, I just want to make sure that participants that you're able to share your screen, because that would be horrible if you couldn't share your screen. Okay. Robbie said, okay, good. All right, guys. And we're going to take a few minutes, which is why I did not go into the back end. So Seema is doing her magic. Now, if you have a lot of people and it's important to you which room they're in, you're going to go into what? Your Zoom backend in your Zoom account. You're going to go to settings and you're going to go to breakout sessions. And right underneath breakout sessions, you can click enable. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but there's something you need to check, which gives you permission to do pre-scheduling of breakout rooms. So this is in your global settings. You guys got to hear me really quick. In your global settings, that's not the place to set up your breakout rooms because that wouldn't make sense. Otherwise, you're going to have the same breakout rooms for every single Zoom. So your global settings just says that you can set it up in advance. Does that make sense? Then when you go into a specific Zoom meeting, you're going to go into your local settings. That would be your settings for that meeting. And then you're going to go to breakout rooms. There's a little pencil you can click. I showed you guys this already in part 1. There's a pencil you can click. And now you can type in all of your people, their names and their emails. Zoom needs no emails. Or you may say, oh, Marquessa, that's too much work. Just upload with the CSV file, and you can do it that way. All right, let me know. You ready, Seema?
Yep.
All right, Seema, get everyone organized in their rooms while I'm talking right now. Guys, have somebody else manage your rooms. If you
Is
do
she
it
gonna
yourself,
just do it automatically?
Yes, she's going to do it automatically.
Perfect.
Zoom gives you a choice. It's either manually or automatically. Manually means I want Deborah in this room. I want Rosemary in this room. I want Sarah in this room. I want Serena in this room. Okay? That's what manually means. Automatically means Zoom decides. You decide on the number of rooms. So how many rooms are we looking at, Seema? I think
I'm just telling her about 5 or 6 people per room. So however many rooms.
Thank you. Good. So let me know when you're ready, Seema, and you're going to have, because we had an interruption, we're going to probably go over a few minutes. So I think I'm going to give people.
There are more people coming in.
You still got more people coming in? All right. So I still want to give it, about 3 to 4 minutes?
You can assign them to other rooms after. Just get the room. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready then.
You ready? Okay, guys, on a count of 1, 2, and 3, go to your Zoom rooms and make it happen. Remember, share your priority or strategy for up-leveling your virtual meetings. All right, let's do this. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. I want to do gallery view. How you doing? How was that? How was it? How was it? Was it good? All right, I need you to do me a favor because we only got so much time left. If you wrote down what it is, some of you saved the whiteboard. I'm impressed, and you can share it with us. Some of you didn't, so that's okay. I'm going to show you how you can kind of put people in the hot seat and spotlight their video. Is that cool? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to participants. Raise your hand if you're ready to do your group breakout report. If you're ready to do a quick debrief. Catherine, got you. So Catherine, what I'm going to do now is spotlight your video. You got it. All right, talk to us. And did you save your whiteboard? Probably not, right?
I hope so. I'm just trying to figure out how to get back to it. So hello, everybody.
Okay.
You got to go to the documents folder.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
But before you share your screen, go to your documents folder. Inside your documents folder, you should see a Zoom folder.
Someone else can go. I figured that out.
Yep. And inside that Zoom folder, just look at whatever has today's date. That should be your whiteboard image that you've saved.
Gotcha.
So open that up. Nope, we got you here. You got it. You open it up.
And see what's happening, Catherine, although we're giving you instructions, everybody else is doing it. So that when they get over, they're ready. So
exactly.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you open that up, then you can share your screen. Do you see it?
Okay. So I'm going to let you think of it. Robbie says he's ready. So let's try Robbie.
No, Robbie's talking about
something else. Okay.
Yeah, a happy hour.
Okay.
Okay. So document folder for those of you either.
All right, Linda says she's ready, guys. So Linda,
go for it.
Linda, I'm gonna spotlight your video. I'll come back to you, Catherine. All right, Linda, you ready?
Okay, so I'm unmuting myself and then I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And here's my screen. And I did not save it the second time. We added some things to it, but this is what we had before we added more. Can you see that now?
We can see it. We can see it. So tell us a little bit, kind of the highlights of what's happening.
So one of the things the first thing that we said was that in a session, we would orient our audience to all those reaction buttons so that we know they'll start using it with us when we're speaking. I can't remember now if it was Rosemary who said if they were going to connect to their calendar. There's a feature to connect to the calendar.
All
right. They're going to practice some webinars and get their slides ready because she has some webinars coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting the names now, I'm not connecting, but to figure out the lighting. And there was something else, and also working on the profiles to get the pictures on the, so when your camera is shut down, instead of just your initials or your name showing up, it will be your profile picture.
And you can change that right in your profile in your Zoom settings, which is fabulous. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, we can all talk to each other through the Zoom client. I can literally go in there, and that's only if you're on the Zoom NSA account, by the way. All right. Thank you so much, Linda. Appreciate it. Thank you, my dear. All right, so I'm going to stop spotlighting. I'm going to exit full screen, and I'm going to stop Linda's spotlight. Okay, and guys, we got a chance for one more person, and that's it. So who else is ready to go? Got their screen up? Just raise your hand real quick, and we'll put you in the hot seat. Anybody else? Now, guys, is this helpful? Do you have an idea? Roger, are you ready? Okay, good. Roger's ready. So I'm going to spotlight Roger. There you go, Roger. You got it. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Marquesa. You are amazing. This is awesome. So I forgot to save the whiteboard, and that is my lesson now. I know how to do it. We had a fabulous discussion. People are going to change their reception room. They're going to put up their branding. They're going to inform people, you know, they're going to use the participant piece more. And we had some learning. Catherine Oxford was just wonderful about asking questions. And so definitely go to those Zoom tutorials, figure out how to use whiteboard and all that's good stuff. And what else am I missing? Oh yeah, I'm spending 2 days with Marquesa. You don't know that yet, but.
You are so welcome after New York is better. Thank you so much, Roger. You're a rock star. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wonderful. All right, guys.
Hold on. People are loving Roger's whiteboard, though.
Oh, I know. He actually had one. You
are the love of my life.
He actually had one. So, guys, do you think you can do this in your meetings, in your Zoom meetings, right? Break people out. What I love about the whiteboard is it gives them an actual activity. It's a great way to get them to put on that whiteboard whatever it is you want them to put on that whiteboard, right? And ask them to save the whiteboard. Since I was sort of moving fast, I skipped a few steps. But get them to save that whiteboard, and when they come back, they can do a report out. So I love that. And then some of you experience, I think, this for the first time. Guys, we have such a platform, and I know so many people are a little depressed or a lot depressed that we can't get in front of audiences, but we can still transform. We just got to do it a different way. I don't know, is Spangler still here? He was here earlier. Is Spangler still here, guys, or has he left? I think he left, but Spangler he did a wonderful little short video, and if we had time, I'll show it to you, but I will put it in the NSA group so you can see it. And he said to me when him and I spoke privately yesterday, he said, you know what, Marquesa, this will really reveal those speakers that really are willing to pivot their business in order to go to that next level so that they can serve their audiences. He's meeting with, he's doing his science camp virtually. And just to put this into perspective, he was supposed to speak at some fancy resort in Las Vegas, where he was paid quite a bit of money, where quite a few teachers were coming in, and they had to return all the money. You with me? Had to return all the money. And he said, well, wait a minute, how can I still reach those same teachers and their students? So he's decided to do 4 sessions per day of 30 students. He's going to ship a box to them with all the science stuff in it. And that's how he's going to serve. So if you so I would love to know what you're going to do. And please share this in the NSA main group because it will inspire us all. All right. I love this platform. It is a game changer, but the more you use it, the more comfortable you would become and the more you can change the world. So we're going to end it the way we started it. Guys, can we just give a round of applause to my co-host, Robert Kennedy? Woo! And I'm going to put this in the chat room. Let me put something in the chat room before I get out of here. Here it is. This is where I put some of my resources, and you do not have to opt in if you do not want to, and you can still get my resources, okay? I'm putting this in here. I think I do some more settings training and all that good stuff. So I just put that in the chat room. Did you guys get it? I'll put it in there one more time, and you can get that, and those are some resources. And if I can help you, I do have a Zoom group called zoomtogrow.com, which is right on Facebook, and everyone helps everybody. And we appreciate you guys. Robert, you have any final words before we shake our butts out of here? Any final words?
Nope. Let's go ahead and use Zoom to change the world. That's all I got to say.
Aww.
Let's rock.
Appreciate you guys. Let's do this and give me some music, Robert, as we get out of here.
Come on.
Let's do this.